Hello guys, welcome here to Out of Turn 4. It is our final episode before I go to Ohio. Of course, let's get right into it. Let's start with the Truck Series at Nashville. We're going to recap all of Nashville, and then of course we'll talk the latest news, as we always do. So let's begin with the Craftsman Truck Series and Carson Hocevar. He claims his second career Truck Series win at Nashville. You gotta believe this man, after winning at Texas, winning at Nashville, you gotta imagine his stock is now through the roof for the Xfinity Series. We know Zane Smith likely going to the Cup, but man, the stock for Carson Hocevar just keeps going up and up, I think. And you know, there's now a vacant ride in the number 8, which we'll get to in a little bit. Great season for Hocevar so far. A breakthrough season, a breakout season for him. And one I think that saves his career, because I felt, personally, I felt like this year was a career-defining year for him, because if he didn't win, if he did not do well in the Truck Series this year, I'd have to believe that he would be a truck lifer, or not being able to move up the ranks. But he's proven me wrong, I think, at this point. He belongs in the Xfinity Series. I think he's ready to make that next step up the ladder. Sorry. And I can't wait to see him do just that. There was one guy who did come down for one race, and it was AJ Allmendinger. He wins a wild NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Nashville. Just remarkable win for him. I think I saw so many wrecks from that race. And, just good to see AJ win. Score one for the good guys. I get, people are complaining about the fender damage. I know Cole Custer has. I'll talk about Cole Custer in a little bit as well, because it'll tie into one of my stories. Just a wild race. In general, before I even get to the Cup Series, let me just say that I honestly and wholeheartedly believe Nashville is the best track that NASCAR has added in the last few years. Okay, it is the best one. So, that said, let's move on to the Cup Series. And, we gotta talk about Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain, the winner, his third career win. And man, is this gonna heat up the one team at just the right time? I think so. They had a great start to the season. Of course, everybody's been inconsistent. Let's not act like there's been anybody in the field that's been a runaway to this point. But Ross Chastain's been at the top of the standings all season long so far. Now, I get it, Truex is leading now. But, Ross has been right up there as well. And there was a point, mid-season, like round races 8 to 12 or whatever, where he was getting involved in the drama. And he was getting, into wrecks and stuff. And it knocked him down a few pegs, but I think this is the kind of kick in the butt that this Trackhouse team needed. And now I think this puts them kind of on a hot streak, I'd imagine. I imagine it'll start a hot streak for them and Trackhouse in general. Another reason, of course, coming up, but Ross, congratulations, man. I wish I was wearing my Ross shirt right now. I just got home from work. I grabbed the first shirt I saw. So, my apologies for that. But overall, great weekend. I want to see Nashville back on the schedule going forward. I just want to say that. I want to see Nashville going forward. They deserve this date. Nashville Superspeedway, amazing racing. On to the racing news now. Tony Stewart came out, and of course, we know Josh Berry was announced as the driver of the number 4, and rightfully so. This man has earned his right to be in the NASCAR Cup Series, and score one for Dale Jr., because that was Dale Jr.'s longtime driver late models, everything. No guy more deserving than Josh Berry. Sorry, I had to plug in my keyboard. That is what you just saw, if you saw it. But no one more deserving than Josh Berry. But Tony Stewart had some comments in the media. Of course, there's been a lot of talk about drivers that don't deserve rides getting good rides because of the money that they bring versus drivers who've had to work their way up in the sport, don't have the funding, and generally don't get the good rides because of that. Well, Tony Stewart said in his press conference announcing Josh Berry that he will always choose guys who deserve. He wants to only hire guys who've earned the shot to be here. He does not want those pay drivers. Then why do you have Cole Custer? Okay. Why do you have Cole Custer on your team then? Even bigger question, why do you have Riley Herbst on your team? Okay, I think you got to answer those two questions before you can come out and make that statement. Now, Almirola has, in a way, earned his way to keep that ride. Okay, Almirola, I'm not going to shit on him. But, oh man, look at your Xfinity team before you make those comments. Because your Xfinity team is littered with those pay drivers, okay? Riley Herbst with Monster Energy and Orca Coolers and whoever else backs him. And then Cole Custer because his dad is the team president, okay? So before you go out and say you only want to hire guys who've earned their chance to be here, you should really look in your lower series programs there, number one. And two, and I'm going to go back to the Xfinity series for a moment, Cole Custer, of course, complaining about A.J. Allmendinger's ride and the Cup guys coming up and ruining it for the Xfinity guys. Get over it, dude. You did the same thing, number one. You did the same exact thing when you were in the 41 Cup car. So don't start with the whole, oh, well, this driver came down to, beat up on us Xfinity regulars. You are not the same as, other Xfinity regulars like Sam Mayer, like Austin Hill, Chandler Smith and others, okay? You're not. You have the Cup experience, okay? You are a failed Cup driver. And let's add in, let me ask you this question. Let me propose this question to our Out of Turn 4 viewers. When's the last time you ever saw someone, let's just say Casey Mears with Hendrick Motorsports back in the early 2000s? He was shit at Hendrick, okay? Did he get demoted to the Xfinity program? No, because they don't have one, but they do have Junior Motorsports. He didn't get demoted for that. Martin Truex Jr. with Michael Waltrip Racing didn't get demoted. Okay, point to me a time where someone has been in a Cup program with, say, Stuart Haas, Junior Johnson, and Associates, and got demoted. And I'm just throwing names out there. Don't correct me on this. But when's the last time you've ever seen a driver get demoted from their full-time Cup team to that team's full-time Xfinity program? I could tell you the answer to that. I've never seen that. Okay? When has there ever been talk about him going back up? Well, we're going to probably see it this off season, but I wouldn't rule it out. But Cole Custer is the luckiest man alive because nobody, and I mean nobody, would get demoted or would move from that team's Cup program to their Xfinity program. Okay? 9 times out of 10, if Cole Custer got cut from that 41 Cup car and his dad wasn't the executive of the team, he'd be out of a ride. He wouldn't even be in Xfinity probably. If he was, he'd probably be with RSS Racing. Maybe Junior Motorsports would take a chance on him. Seeing that Junior likes to take chances on drivers who don't necessarily do well in the Cup Series and deserve that second shot. So I wouldn't rule it past or put it past him, but Cole Custer would be a nobody if it wasn't for his dad being an executive at that team. He's done nothing to earn his Cup ride. Okay, he's never going to do enough to earn it back. Okay, and to those who say, "Oh, Ryan Preece is bad," no, like, yeah, I'm not gonna deny he's had a bad year, but he's earned his right to be there. Okay, he's in the middle of what is a dog shit season for Stewart-Haas Racing. Okay, and Ford in general. Ford in general with this next gen has not been really good. Okay, you have to look to Front Row Motorsports again, and I said it, and I think Team Penske and Front Row Motorsports are the two top Ford teams right now. Okay, then you've got RFK Racing, who's closing that gap. Then you got, Stewart-Haas Racing, Wood Brothers, then Rick Ware. I would say in that order. I'm sure I'm missing one or two Cup teams, but you got to give a little bit of a benefit of the doubt to Ryan Preece because it's his first year. This team is kind of in, a soul-searching moment, of course, losing Kevin Harvick. They're probably going to lose Eric Almirola. Okay? The only guy who's going to be back that we know of right now is Chase Briscoe. So, and Chase Briscoe's earned his way up too. And I like this mentality from Tony Stewart. Going back to the main story here, I love this mentality from Tony Stewart. The one thing I don't like, though, is you got to look at your Xfinity program before making a bold statement like that. End of discussion there. You've got to look at your Xfinity program before you even come out and say something like that. Because your Xfinity program of Riley Herbst and Cole Custer are the two biggest pay drivers out there at the moment. The boss man is racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this weekend. Justin Marks will return to the NASCAR Xfinity Series to race at Chicago. He will drive the Kaulig Racing number 10. And man, this was one out of left field. I didn't realize, one, that the Cup drivers were not allowed to race in the Xfinity Series race, so that was news to me. But as far as Justin Marks, man, that is impressive. I'm excited to see him return to the Xfinity Series. And he's honestly going to be one of the favorites now. So good for Justin, good for Trackhouse and Kaulig. And I hope we can eventually see Justin Marks run for his own team in the Cup Series. I think that'd be pretty damn cool. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be very cool if it did. So Justin Marks, good luck this weekend. You're in a great car. You're with a great team led by Chris Rice and Matt Kaulig. And, I'm excited to see what he does, honestly. Justin Marks is growing on me. I've always liked him, but since he started this team, that respect level's just going up. All right, race weekend picks. And guess what? I get to pick first the race I'm going to be at. Okay? IndyCar at Mid-Ohio. I'm going to start out by picking Scott McLaughlin. He won last year. Penske seems to have been doing really well at that course the last few years. I think they will continue that dominance, and I think Scotty Mac's going to go back-to-back at Mid-Ohio. Okay, Xfinity Series at Chicago. This one was a tough one because no Cup regulars. I'd like to say Cole Custer is going to be in the running. I'd like to say Justin Allgaier. But this is a real big unknown, and I think Justin Marks could come out on top in this. So my pick is Justin Marks. As far as the Cup Series at Chicago, I think it's going to be a Kaulig Racing sweep. AJ Allmendinger is the only one of the full-time NASCAR Cup drivers that has experience driving on a street course, and I think that experience is going to pay off. However, I would not rule out the Trackhouse boys, because the Trackhouse boys are going to be here to play too, but I think this weekend's going to be a massive toss-up and just utter chaos, obviously. I probably won't watch much of the race again, for those who don't know, and I'm going to explain what's going on. So again, I've said it for weeks, I'm going to Mid-Ohio this weekend for the NTT IndyCar race there. I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the track. And then right after the race Sunday, I'm driving right back to home. So, hence, I probably won't have time to watch the NASCAR Cup race. I hope to have it on the DVR, though. So, we'll be working on that. That said, tune into Facebook, of course, at Tinkle Sports. Go follow us there. I'll be uploading some pictures, some videos, maybe even doing some live stuff from Ohio. So you will want to tune in, see, what exactly we're going to be doing up there. And, maybe you'll get to see your favorite driver. Maybe you'll get to see your favorite car out there. So tune in. You never know when I'm going to go live. I can't tell you. But just keep an eye to Facebook. Maybe even the Instagram page. Again, it's all at Tinkle Sports. So go tune into that. That'll, if you follow that, you'll know when we're live. You'll know when videos and pictures and all that are uploaded. So keep an eye out for that. As far as Out of Turn 4 next week. So, of course, next Tuesday is the 4th of July. So, because of that, and because the fact I'm getting back on Sunday night real late, I want to take Monday to really just recuperate, rest and relax. And I obviously want to be sure I can get you guys a quality Out of Turn 4. So, for that reason, I will be taking the holiday off. So, there will be Out of Turn 4 next week, though. So, tune in. It'll be Thursday at 12 on Facebook Watch and YouTube. So again, Out of Turn 4 next week will be Thursday at noon. I'll be here for your lunch hour. And hopefully I'll have, the recap. Not just the recap of Mid-Ohio, but I hope to also have, some videos, some pictures. Mainly some videos from Mid-Ohio I hope to have for you guys at the very end of next week's episode. So again, next week, Thursday noon, will be our episode because of the holiday. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Or we'll see you over on Facebook, which we hope to do. And for those watching on Facebook, thanks for that. And we'll see you next week. Until then, goodbye, everyone.